Hi. Hello, my name is Kanaya. You're friends with Rose, aren't you? Okay, that's what I thought. Um, well, you did get pretty banged up. I'm so sorry about that. Sometimes a few trolls can't manage their anger issues. So, no worries, no worries. You were patched up just fine by Rose, but she had to step out. So I thought, since I am a Jade Blood myself and you did get attacked in the caverns, that I would help you sort of relax and feel a little more at ease and comfortable while here. So Rose has found a book from her home in Earth and she brought it to the caverns. A lot of the regulars and grubs do like this book. There is a lot of human terminology which I assume you would understand. You look very human yourself, unless I am mistaken, of course. Okay, you are human. Great. The book is actually right behind you, so it is called The Littlest Pumpkin. I believe it's made for younger wrigglers and potentially some grubs. So you may or may not have already heard of this or read this yourself when you were little. I do apologize if you see a few doodles. The wrigglers do love drawing in the books, unfortunately. That's why we have such a vast amount. So I will just read this to you. It's not very long, as you can see. There are a few sentences on most pages. So the first page with the title, it's by R.A. Herman and illustrated by Bettina Ogden. I hope I pronounced that right. There's a few pumpkins with faces in Bartlett's farm stand. And it says, "It was Halloween, and there were 18 pumpkins left at Bartlett's farm stand. The pumpkins looked their very best, because they all wanted to be taken home and made into jolly jack-o'-lanterns. The littlest pumpkin had the biggest dreams of all. She saw herself shining in the dark, with ghosts, monsters, witches, and fairies gathered around her singing a Halloween song. And today was the day when all her dreams were going to come true." On this page, there's some humans in costumes around a little jack-o'-lantern. Maggie dropped by the stand on her way to school, just as it was opening. "I want the biggest pumpkin you have for my class party," she said, looking at the pumpkins on display. She didn't even glance at the littlest pumpkin. The pumpkin Maggie chose was so big Mr. Bartlett had to help her put it in her mother's car. Then the twins arrived. Jess wanted the roundest, fattest pumpkin. Jen wanted the tallest, skinniest pumpkin. They both knew exactly what they wanted their jack-o'-lanterns to look like. Later that morning, Mrs. Garland's class came to the farm stand to buy apples and pumpkins for their Halloween party. The littlest pumpkin was very excited when she saw the children. "Now certainly I will be chosen by someone and made into a jack-o'-lantern," she thought. But no one chose the littlest pumpkin. This one, these are actually really nice designs. One has jack-o'-lanterns on it. Most of them just have carved out faces. This one has stars. This one has bats. This one has spiders. All day long, people came to the farm stand to buy pumpkins. Mr. Potter ran in to choose a pumpkin for his daughter, Kate. Poor Kate was home with the flu, but she had drawn pictures for her dad so he could see exactly what kind of pumpkin she wanted. Mr. Potter looked at every single pumpkin until he found the right one. The sun began to set, and only 4 pumpkins were left at the farm stand. One pumpkin had a bruise on its back. One pumpkin was lumpy and bumpy. One pumpkin didn't have a stem. And the last pumpkin was the littlest pumpkin. The littlest pumpkin still had big dreams. She would be a beautiful jack-o'-lantern at a Halloween party. She would shine in the dark with ghosts, monsters, witches, and fairies gathered around her singing a Halloween song. This is quite a big picture for such a small book. There's human children all around, or I'd assume they're called children based on the context of the story. But while the littlest pumpkin was dreaming, Gabe and Mona arrived. They ran up to the 4 remaining pumpkins. Gabe grabbed the stemless one. "Perfect," he said. "My jack-o'-lantern is going to wear this hat. It's a nice looking hat, to be fair, coming from myself." Mona picked up the littlest pumpkin. "Oh, how cute," she said. The littlest pumpkin was so happy. All her dreams were going to come true. "But it's too small for me to carve into a jack-o'-lantern," said Mona, putting it down. Then she picked up the lumpy bumpy one instead. "Now this one is perfect." I must admit the art style of this book is quite nice, especially for one made for little wrigglers. Soon it was dark, and the stars began to sparkle into the sky. Mr. Bartlett was cleaning up. "Oh, please don't close yet," thought the littlest pumpkin. "I must be a jack-o'-lantern for Halloween." Suddenly, Mr. Bartlett heard someone calling his name. "Mr. Bartlett, Mr. Bartlett." It was Sam. "Please wait," said Sam. "I need a pumpkin for tonight." Mr. Bartlett picked up the bruised pumpkin and told Sam that if he turned it around, it would make a very nice jack-o'-lantern. Sam agreed, and with that, Mr. Bartlett closed the farm stand. So there in the dark on Halloween night sat the littlest pumpkin. She was all alone, or so she thought. For just when the littlest pumpkin was sure she was going to be spending Halloween night alone in the empty farm stand, mice started scurrying around her. They were decorating everything, wearing tiny costumes, and carrying all sorts of Halloween goodies. And before the littlest pumpkin knew what was happening, she found herself in the middle of a Halloween party. Mice dressed in costumes were bobbing for cranberries, playing pin the tail on the squirrel, and eating cheese and crumbs. Then the best thing of all happened. The littlest pumpkin made a fine jack-o'-lantern after all. The littlest pumpkin was turned into a jack-o'-lantern. She was shining in the dark with ghosts, monsters, witches, and fairies gathered around her singing a Halloween song. All her big dreams had come true on Halloween night. As you can see, quite a few marks left by the wrigglers in the cavern. And that was the book. Did you enjoy it? You seem much more relaxed than you were a few minutes ago. Rose should be coming back soon. I guess I will we'll leave you to rest until she comes back.